How many of you still struggle with that reoccurring nightmare where you show up to Prometric Center to take your USMLE and everything goes terribly wrong? Like the questions are written in a foreign language wrong. Is that just me? Welcome to End of Shift. If discussing medical news and receiving tips to reduce your stress burden is something that interests you, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. I wanted to discuss everything wrong with the USMLE Step 1. You see, this past week, Twitter absolutely blew up with tweets about Step 1 after a group of medical students wrote an article published in the Academic Medicine Journal about how the test negatively impacts students' well-being. Also, they urged to make a change to the grading structure and change it to a pass-fail test. For those of you new to medical training, the USMLE Step 1 is a first in a series of 3 multiple-choice exams that doctors must pass in order to be licensed. This first test, and undeniably the worst one, is focused on the application of your basic science knowledge. To add to the scare factor of this test, it needs to be completed before you apply to residency and can really make or break your application. If you need a point of reference as to the kind of questions that you'll encounter on Step 1, here's one. A 24-year-old woman comes to the physician for a follow-up examination. 1 week ago, she was treated in the emergency department after she accidentally spilled hot grease on her leg while working in a fast food restaurant. Examination of the lower extremity shows a 7-centimeter pink, soft, granular edematous wound. So you might be thinking, like, what are they going to ask me about? The types of burns and... The formation of this tissue was most likely caused by increased activity of which of the following? A. Complement C3b. Complement C3b. Glycosylation-dependent cell adhesion molecule. A. P selection 3b. D. Stromyolysin. Complement B. Vascular factor. It's questions like this, minutia like whether or not stromyolysin is even a real thing, that has led to the recent criticism of Step 1. See, this test doesn't really examine clinical information. It therefore has less predictive value of how you're going to do as a physician. I can honestly personally tell you that in the 2 years of me being a resident, the amount of times that I have thought about the Krebs cycle on a daily basis is 0. None. What makes this test even worse is that residency programs use the numeric score that you get in order to rank their applicants. And what's even more infuriating about this practice is that there's absolutely no evidence to support its merit. So as you can see, there's probably really good reason why medical students are pissed off. Here they are in school being taught about the wonders of evidence-based medicine, while simultaneously stressing out about being judged by this terribly unscientific and very unevidence-based medicine-y way of applying this exam. Everyone should be in agreement that we need to do better, right? According to the CEO of the MBME and the FSMB, he joked that if students were to devote more time to activities that make them less prepared to provide quality care, such as binge watching the most recent Netflix series or compulsively updating their Instagram account, this could negatively impact residency performance and ultimately patient safety. This statement is truly infuriating to me as someone who has gone through this and feel the exact opposite way. There are so many things wrong with this way of thinking where we view improved mental health and stress relief as like somehow a waste of time. I personally see studying more for the USMLE as making students less prepared to provide quality care. You see, the USMLE teaches trainees that there is always one right answer, which in medicine is just not true. Number 2, it takes away time in medical school where we could spend on things that are worthwhile for patient care, like motivational interviewing or how to connect with patients better and build our relationships. We seem to want to attract all these diverse students to medical school. We want you to have all of these different interests. And then it just seems weird to me that once you get into medical school, we expect you to just give up all of your uniqueness in order to pursue this perfect test score. The writers of the USMLE need to recognize something. Even the hardest working medical students who spend unhealthy amounts of time studying for this exam still lose countless hours of sleep due to stress, anxiety, and worry about a bad test day. Now that I'm a resident, I know that what is far more important than being some fact-wielding robot is the ability to work within a team. So to the medical student viewers out there, I want you to listen to me. You need to understand that the feelings that you have, that you don't know as much of your peers, is completely normal. Also, anyone who has taken these tests deep down knows that it is only one day and only one sample size of your work. You are more than the sum of your USMLE. I promise you that. I feel like if we don't realize sooner rather than later that in order to graduate doctors who treat patients humanely, we need to first start treating training doctors like humans. Your sanity is worth way more than your STEP score. This means accepting that teaching medical students healthy ways of reducing stress, which includes watching Netflix and even snapping selfies on Instagram, is just as important as memorizing all of those glycogen storage disorders, like the ones that I know nothing about right now. So, to my medical student friends out there who are watching this video, study hard this weekend, but do not be afraid to balance it out. And go ahead, enjoy yourself. Watch a few episodes of Bird Box. Just don't try and study your first aid blindfolded. It's not as effective, I promise you.